from the Fox 5 studios, this is Silver State Sports Live.
Opening day is here. It's First Pitch Friday here at Fox 5. Welcome inside Silver State Sports Live. I'm Mike Davis. My co-host, Mariah Janos, is currently taking in all the fanfare at Las Vegas Ballpark in Summerlin. We're going to go out to her in just a few minutes. But first, let's get you all set for the A's 2026 season as they kick off opening weekend in Toronto against the reigning AL champions. Now this season, a young A's team will look to create some magic and a push for a playoff spot. The lineup is talented and deep, but it's the pitching staff that will be key for the A's potential playoff hopes. Mike Allen, from covering the bases with the A's, spoke with A's legend Dave Stewart ahead of opening day. Let's hear what he had to say.
This team has gone through a lot in their young experiences. I mean, this was a team a few years ago that lost 100 games back-to-back seasons. And those experiences are either you're going to learn from them or you're going to wallow in them. This team has learned from them. Mark Kotsay is a good manager, a great manager for this group of kids. They play hard for him. These kids love to play. People have told them in the past that they couldn't, and they continue to get it done. And now they're at a place where I think they're ready to make that next step.
Now the Athletics have a rough schedule right out of the gate, not only kicking things off against the AL champions, but then the guys in green and gold continue their road trip heading to Atlanta to take on the Braves for a 3-game series. Now on the flip side, the Aviators have a nice looking schedule to kick off 2026 as they're playing their first 9 games of the season right here at home in Summerlin, and that's where we find Mariah Janos. Mariah, happy opening day. What's the vibe like out there?
Happy opening day, Michael. What a great day to be a baseball fan. Bad day to be a hot dog or a beer, but that's all right. All comes out in the wash. But the vibes are high here. It's not too hot yet. I'm not sweating completely. And I've got the best of the best joining me here. Fran Reardon, the manager of the Aviators. Let's just get right into it right now with this roster. I think you could say about the entire athletics farm system, the word to describe it is depth at virtually every position. How good of a problem is that to have for you here at the AAA level?
It's the best kind of problem. This is the deepest our farm system has been since I've been in AAA. Just talent all through the system, and you look at our roster and how exciting it is, how athletic it is, how young it is, and we expect really exciting things from the talent we have on this team.
You talk about how young this roster is, but there's over 10 guys that have some big league experience. How beneficial is that?
Well, it's a combination of young guys and guys that do have major league experience, most of them in the bullpen, and guys that you can really rely on to come in and throw strikes. And not only that, kind of mentor the younger guys, teach them, maybe 1 or 2 tricks of the trade that will help them in their journey to the big leagues. So, having that veteran influence helps as well, especially when you do have some 21 and 22-year-olds on the team.
Now, you were just at spring training. There were a ton of top prospects there as well, in addition to the guys on the major league roster. One guy that has been circled for a lot of people, Gage Jump, he's getting the start, I think, against OKC next week. But what have you seen out of him so far just from spring training?
What a talent. Just great arm talent, great presence on the mound for such a young guy, and a real desire to get better and improve and take that next step to the big league. So it was my first opportunity to watch him in spring training, and he did nothing but impress, just with his poise, his command, his stuff, his arsenal, and it's going to be really fun to watch him and his development here in Vegas.
Well, sticking with the prospects, going down a level to AA, you got guys like Leo DeVries, Jamie Arnold. How excited are you for the future of what's coming through here in the pipeline?
Yeah, well, you hit it right in the head. We're deep, we're athletic, we have arm talent in our system, and guys like DeVries and Arnold really put a good foot forward. You look at what Leo was able to do in his Major League spring training debut, just hitting over 400 with 4 home runs and playing really good shortstop, hitting from both sides of the plate, and just showing off all the tools to make him one of baseball's top prospects.
Now, I got to ask you something that is being implemented at the Major League level. Now you guys are a little bit more familiar with it, the ABS challenge system. What are those conversations like with your players? Are you like, hey, I trust you, use it where you see fit? How do you feel about it?
Well, this is going to be the 5th year that we've used the ABS system in some way, shape, or form. I think a lot of the guys that have played at the AAA level, whether it's in the International League or the PCL, are familiar with it. We obviously used it in Major League Spring Training, so the guys that weren't familiar with it got that taste. And, there's definitely strategy to it, but I want guys to have freedom to, make the judgments themselves, to challenge pitches, to challenge, situations where one pitch could change the course of a game. And, with only 2 challenges, you have to be strategic with them, you have to be wise with them, and hopefully guys show me that they can make really, really good decisions.
All right, Fran, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Good luck tonight. Can't wait to see your guys out here on the diamond. Mike, we're getting set up here. We're just getting started here on Silver State Sports Live from Las Vegas Ballpark, but I'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, great stuff there, Mariah. We'll see you in a little bit. All right, and you can catch the Aviators right here on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. The next opportunity to see them play, that's Tuesday when the team takes on the Oklahoma City Comets. And still to come on Silver State Sports Live, the Golden Knights are in real danger of missing the postseason for just the 2nd time in franchise history. After the break, we're joined by Ken Bolke of Sin Bin Vegas to break down where the Knights are at after last night's loss to Edmonton.
This week on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. Your Triple SEN lineup is sponsored by AAA Roadside Assistance. Visit AAA today.
You're watching Silver State Sports Live.
So the Golden Knights dropped a key Pacific Division matchup last night to the Edmonton Oilers. Ivan Barbashev scored with about 14 minutes remaining to tie the game at 3-3. Then in overtime, the Oilers killed off a penalty before Evan Bouchard beat Aiden Hill blocker's side to win the game 4-3. Now the Golden Knights are now 5-10-1 since the Olympic break and have lost 5 of their 6 last games. Here's Bruce Cassidy after the game on the loss and the possibility of having to see Edmonton again in the playoffs.
It's been a battle for us since the Olympic break to win games. So let's get winning again, feel good about ourselves, take care of winning, and then we'll worry about if and when, whoever our opponent is, then we're going to have to accept the realities of what the pros and cons are of that. And if it is Edmonton, I will say yes, they've come in here and won games. That's twice this year and in the playoffs last year. But that's the farthest thing from my mind right now, to be honest, Mark. We got other things to take care of.
So here's a look at the Pacific Division standings with just 9 games left to play. The Golden Knights losing ground on the Ducks. They are in danger of falling out of the playoff picture if they fall behind the Kings, Kraken, or Sharks. So let's bring in Ken Bolke now with Sin Bin Vegas. Ken, thank you so much for being here. Let's get right to it. So what are the chances the Golden Knights actually miss the playoffs?
It's still somewhat low. A lot of the prediction models out there have it in like the 80% range that they make it. So it's like 4 out of 5. They're still going to make it. The least optimistic one was like 72% or so. So it's still looking pretty good. They got it in their hands. If they play halfway decent, and by that I mean like win 4 or 5 of the last 9, they should be fine.
Okay, so is it panic mode time? Are we overreacting with the sentiment that things just don't feel right now?
I definitely agree that they don't feel right. I mean, they just lost their 41st game of the season. It's the first time in franchise history that they will not win more games than they lost. But panic is probably a little bit too much, I would say. And I think that's more so because of the teams around them. If the Golden Knights were in the other conference, they would be like 7 or 8 points out of the playoffs. And yes, we would be in full-on panic mode. But they're not. They're in a division where maybe the Ducks are gone, but they're still in a pretty good spot to have it in front of them and also have an opportunity, if they do get in, to play a team that's also not playing well, which would be Edmonton LA, Seattle, whoever it happens to be, it's also not going to be an elite team like sometimes we've seen in the past with this team in the first round of the playoffs.
Okay, so you're one of the preeminent minds on all things VGK. So let me ask you this, because I want your take. What's wrong with this team? What is the biggest issue right now? And do you think it can be fixed in time for the playoffs, for competing once we would get to the playoffs if that should happen?
I think the number one thing that's wrong is they're falling behind too often. And there's different reasons for that. Earlier in the season, it was goaltending. They just couldn't get that stop when they needed it. That's gotten a little bit better now. More so recently, it's been puck management. They turn the puck over too much. They're just handing great opportunities to the other team early in games. And then the reason you fall behind is because you don't score. If you score first, you're not behind. And they're not doing that. They only have 8 goals in their last 6 games. 3 in the last game was better, but 5 in 5 games before that. Like, it's kind of a collection of things that they've got to find a way to not be behind game after game after game. I want to say it's 5 of the last 6 games. They have not led for a single second in any of the games. Like, that is a problem. As to can it be fixed, 72, 73 games into the season, what we are now, it's hard to believe that it's just all of a sudden going to get better. I think it can improve, but can it completely get fixed? That seems fairly unlikely after 5 months of hockey.
Okay, yeah. So I have 2 questions for you here, a positive perspective and a negative perspective. Let's start with perhaps the positive. Let's just say they do make the playoffs. Do you have faith that they could even capture lightning in a bottle and make a cup run with how things are just from the eye test right now and how things look? Or do you think that would just be, frankly, impossible even if they were to make the playoffs?
It's never impossible. It's still the NHL. It's still a low-scoring league compared to like the NBA or other leagues that have bigger scores. You know, you need 3, and there's no reason why the Golden Knights can't get 3. I think the best reason for optimism is what the path is most likely to be. Because the division is so bad and the way the NHL playoffs are set up, they are likely to play a Pacific Division team not only in the first round, but also in the second round. And if you compare them to the rest of the Pacific Division, they're right in the mix, maybe a little bit behind Anaheim, but right there with Edmonton, ahead of LA, ahead of Seattle. So in a first and second round, it seems probable that they have a pretty good chance. I think they're underdogs in the first round, likely against Edmonton. So if we get there, and then they would almost certainly be underdogs against Anaheim based on what's happened this year. Is it impossible? The answer is definitely no. Is it likely that they're going to go on a run like we've seen in the past? It's hard to project that at this point, simply because, like I said earlier, they have 32 wins and 41 losses. You've got to win 4 out of 7 4 times to win the Stanley Cup. And they do not have a very good record against playoff teams either, including the teams that they potentially will face. So it's going to be a tough go, but it's definitely not impossible.
Okay, and let me just take that negative viewpoint because, I want to bring vibes down on a Friday here. Let's just say the Golden Knights miss the playoffs this year. Who does the blame really come down on? This is an organization we know they're quick to move off of things when things aren't working, right? So what would the offseason ramifications look like if they miss the playoffs, and who would the blame really settle on?
I think everybody's going to be looked at. I think they're going to certainly look at most of the personnel and say, where did we go wrong? What didn't fit here? What do we need to fix? So I think there can certainly be players moving in and out. Goaltending would certainly be a position that they would look at, despite the fact that they signed a long-term contract with Adin Hill just a year ago. He's in the first year of a 6-year deal. They're going to look there. They've got to figure out, why are we not scoring? Why are we not defending at the same level? Like all of that. Ultimately, it usually goes a little bit higher than that. They start looking at coach. They start looking at general manager. I think everybody's going to be under the microscope. If a team that's pushed up against the salary cap was a Stanley Cup champion just a few years ago and has always been in the mix, falls all the way out in what's going to be historically the worst division since the league went to 10 or 4 divisions. If they fall all the way out of the playoffs, that means behind LA, behind Seattle, behind Nashville, behind Utah, like if it's behind all of these teams, there's going to be changes. Where it exactly lands, that's going to be up to Bill Foley. And I don't think it's going to be an easy decision because historically the coach is awesome, has been for his entire career. He's made the playoffs 9 years in a row. The general manager built a roster that won the Stanley Cup, and they've been in the playoffs 7 out of the 8 years. It's hard to pick either of them and say that's the problem. But if we know anything about the Golden Knights, if they don't make the playoffs, there's going to be changes.
All right. There you have it. Great insight from Ken. Sinbin Vegas. Make sure you go follow it. If you love VGK, it's a must follow. Thanks, Ken.
Thanks for having me.
All right, meanwhile, huge news for the Runnin' Rebels as their off-season gets underway. Star freshman forward and Vegas native Tyron Jones will return to UNLV for his sophomore season. The team announced today that Jones has re-signed and will be back with head coach Josh Pastner next year. Jones averaged 11.9 points per game in his first year as a Runnin' Rebel and was also selected to the Mountain West All-Defensive Team. A huge piece of the offseason is now secured for Coach Pastner and the Runnin' Rebels. Up next, we're going back out to the Las Vegas ballpark. Mariah Janos has more for us as we celebrate First Pitch Friday here at Fox 5. Welcome back to Silver State Sports Live. We're celebrating First Pitch Friday here at Fox 5 and Silver State Sports, and that means we need to be checking in on Mariah Janos. She's out at the Las Vegas ballpark for Aviators opening day. What's up, Mariah?
Hey, Mike. Yes, so we just talked to Fran a couple blocks ago. Now I got Joey Estes here. He's a right-handed pitcher for the club. Joey, let's talk about spring training because you were just out there. You got to see all the prospects from majors down to high A ball, the guys that were out there. What were your overall impressions of the group?
Yeah, I mean, I've been here a while now, and we have always had a great club. And, yeah, we look forward to this year, and it's going to be a good year.
Talk to me about this bullpen. I know there's a lot of depth, a lot of guys with some major league experience. What kind of group do you guys have out there?
Yeah, we got a great group. We got a lot of guys with experience, like you said, guys that have been up for a while, and I pick their brains all the time, and you need guys like that around here, so it's good, and yeah, it's going to help us win games.
With all the depth, virtually at every position, but especially what you guys have on your pitching staff, is there a sense of internal competition? I know you're always looking out for each other and picking each other's brains, but you all have the ultimate end goal. Yeah,
I mean, it's more of like friendly competition. Like it's one of those things where we just want to go out there and we compete, we make each other better, and that's just what it comes down to.
And what are you bringing to the rotation this season? I know you are taking the mound over the weekend.
Yeah, no, I mean, I plan to go out there and just give everything that I got, obviously, and get my way back up to where I want to be. And but yeah, the goal's here, and just one start at a time, pretty much.
Now, what can you say about the hitters that you have on this team as well? I know that's kind of what this whole organization is really known for at this point. You got some big hitters up in the majors. You got them right here in Vegas as well. Yeah,
no, we got a good lineup, and we got a great lineup up there, and it's great. We're especially from a pitcher's perspective, like it's great to always have offense on your side. It's great to always have guys just put up runs, makes your job a lot easier to going out there.
Well, Joey, thank you so much. Yeah. We can't wait to see you do work. All right, Mike, it's opening day here at the park. Vibes are high. We still got a lot of time until that first pitch, but I'm just going to enjoy this for now. I'll see you guys in a little bit, okay?
All right, great stuff, Mariah. Thanks so much. All right, some silver and black news right now. Former first-round pick, not running back, Najee Harris, will visit with the Raiders next week. That's according to NFL Network's Ian Rappaport. Harris went for over 1,000 yards in each of his first 4 NFL seasons with the Steelers. His 2025 campaign with the Chargers was hampered by a fireworks injury. Now the 28-year-old will look for a fresh start, and it might be with the Raiders. The two sides reportedly set to meet next Thursday. And today, Fox 5 and the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network is remembering a Raiders icon. Barrett Robbins, a longtime Raiders center and former All-Pro, passed away overnight. A second-round pick out of TCU in 1995, he was one of the top centers in the NFL for 9 seasons, each of the seasons spent with the Silver and Black. Barrett Robbins was 52 years old. All right, welcome back. As we wrap up First Pitch Friday here on Silver State Sports Live, let's send it back out to Mariah Janos. One more time, Mariah, tell me You've been doing a great work out there. This A's team, though, let's talk about the Athletics for a second. A lot of firepower. I want to know, what's the ceiling this year for them? Can they make a run for the playoffs?
I absolutely think they can. I think the biggest question, Kevin kind of touched on it yesterday, they've got the bats. They'll be able to score a lot of runs, but can they keep enough runs off the board? They have a lot of talented players defensively, position players, but that pitching, it seems to happen the second the starting pitcher steps off the mound, it all unravels from there. So it's really bolstering that rotation, bringing in some strong relief and closers there to lock in these wins and help them stack them, especially in that back half of the season. Like we saw, if they could go on another run like we saw last year, it was just too little too late. If they can do that this season, they will absolutely crack a playoff spot, which is a perfect primer as they get ready for the move to Las Vegas, Mike.
I made a prediction early this morning on Fox 5. I said I think they're going to capture that wild card spot. I really do think this is going to be a year where they punch a ticket for the playoffs. I think pitching, like you said, that's going to be a crucial X-factor piece to this puzzle. But, you know, if Kurtz and Wilson lead the way and a few other people pop, whether that's Rooker, whether that's Soderstrom, Butler, developing into the player that we think he can be, those are going to be key pieces as this young core starts to develop a little bit of power and just getting ready to make those playoffs. So, Mariah, you've done a great job out there. I want to know, is there any big league chew in the bowl? Any dugout big league chew you got for me there?
I haven't spotted any. If anything, I'm a big sunflower seed girl, so I'm going to try and hunt those down. But no big league chew out here just yet. The guys are still warming up and training inside in the gym. So I'll see if I can find some, though. Blow a big bubble.
All right. Enjoy yourself out there. You did great. Thanks so much for a great week, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next time here on Silver State Sports Live.